Hello and welcome to the Un.Branded podcast with Unknown.Studio. Today we are talking how to cultivate a strong partnership. Hello and welcome again to episode 5? This is episode 5 of the Un.Branded podcast. As always, the bearded Tanner Tate sitting across from me, creative director and co-founder of Unknown.Studio. And we're broadcasting on Facebook Live in Vault 405 in downtown Edmond, a very active downtown Edmond today and through the weekend because of, what do they call it? The Edmond Arts Festival. Edmond Arts Festival. It's pretty cool thing. So today, again, we are talking how to cultivate a strong partnership. Tanner, go.
Did you already introduce me?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed my cue.
Yeah.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work, but artwork makes the heart work.
Yes, that was a pretty weak effort today, but very on point because of the Edmond Arts Festival, right?
Yeah, and we're talking partnership, so teamwork.
Okay, teamwork makes the dream work, and also art because
Artwork makes
okay,
the art work.
That's good. Okay,
Yeah.
So like I said, cultivating a strong partnership.
Yep.
And so first, Tanner, let's discuss what the heck is a partnership.
This
Right?
is a partnership.
Me and you.
Right.
Right? So there's give and take. I can't grow a beard like that, so I'm going to give you that one.
Right.
But I'm going to take my height because I'm a lot taller than you.
Man.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I just have to always take those jabs.
So a partnership is it's a group, of people working toward a common goal, working together. Mm-hmm. So that could be a business partnership. It could be a team. It could be a sports team, sports ball team.
Right.
So unless you're the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then,
okay. Ouch. Too soon.
It could be a family also. So a group, a collective of people. It could be a community. We talked about community last week.
We did.
But a partnership, it's a group of people working together towards a common goal.
And so what you did not say is 2 people or 3 or whatever on the same team rowing the same way. So a partnership is not just Tanner and I because we're in business together. It can be a number of different things. So, and this podcast is how to, again, cultivate a strong partnership.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to read this straight up off this sheet of paper. Let's see. How?
Wait.
Oh my gosh.
The
Am
principles,
I jumping way ahead?
Yeah. The principles.
I was drawing arrows on my sheet while I wasn't looking.
Number 1, number 2.
Okay.
So before we get into, all these instances of cultivating partnerships, let's talk about the principles of a strong partnership. What is a partnership built on? What is the foundation of a strong partnership?
And this is really cool because I really like this because this is something Tanner came up with just a couple days ago. And do you want me to reveal?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay. And so he coined it the partnership bot. The partnership bot.
Right.
Right? That's the foundational piece that is needs to be there to form a strong cultivating partnership, right?
So what is the bot?
The bot. I'm going to break this down into three different things. The bot.
It's an acronym.
Balance.
Balance.
B. O. Openness.
Openness.
And T. Trust.
Trust.
Yeah. I'm lucky that I can read because that appeared on my sheet magically.
I'm glad you can read my writing.
The partnership bot.
Yeah. So let's talk about each of those principles: balance, openness, trust. What is balance? What is openness? What is trust? Let's start with balance.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So balance. So a good partnership is one. I feel like that there's understanding that there are things that you do well and things that I do well. Mm-hmm. Is that where you're going with this? Absolutely. So that's a partnership because if you both do the same thing well, you don't necessarily maybe need that partnership.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just getting what? Either, I think a lot of times that's where conflict comes in, because we can both do this thing and maybe we think that we should do the same thing a little bit differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have strong opinions about the thing that you do well. The other person has strong opinions about that same thing that they do well. That's not good balance, man. You're both of you are sitting on both sides of the seesaw, the teeter-totter, right?
Mm-hmm. So if we go into specifics with Tanner and I here, and Unknown.Studio.
We already talked about beard.
We already talked about beard. We already
Great
talked
beard.
about height.
Yeah, beard.
Okay.
Great height. Yeah, height.
Okay. More specifically into our business, Unknown.Studio, which we do web design, branding, digital strategies, brand strategy, all this stuff. So what is it that Tanner does really well? I'll tell you, because I've been working with him for, a long time, right? Long time. Tanner he's a good thinker. He's a content guy. He's a strategist. And Tanner, what do I do well? I've never asked you. Okay, nothing.
You are amazing at bringing simplicity to things. I overcomplicate the heck out of stuff,
Yes.
and you just you
this
make
is
it simple.
Okay,
That's great balance.
and that's
balance.
really good balance, right? Exactly what you're saying, because there are two parts to this.
I'm also words in your pictures too, so that
okay,
you know.
right. See, you simplified it. So you're good at simplifying.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, so I'm good at speeding up the process. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Simplifying.
Okay, simplifying. Efficiency. Tanner is not really great at that, but he's really talented at a lot of other things. So Tanner likes to maybe slow down the process a little bit more. He likes to dive in a little bit deeper to why exactly we're doing all this stuff. He likes to give reason to the things that we actually do and produce, and I enjoy doing that too. I also just like moving quickly. So how we're balanced in that is Tanner wants me to slow down a little bit and let's really think this through. And I tell Tanner, hurry the F up.
Right.
Let's go. And so we need both of those things.
We do.
We don't need to slow way down, and we don't need to speed way up. So there's good balance there, and we understand the strengths and weaknesses that come with each, and we roll with it. And it so far has worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
And we're talking about that in regards to a business partnership, but whether a friendship also, or a family, I think that's one thing that's really important about a family or a relationship is to have balance. So if you have two people that are exactly the same, that's great. They may get along really well because they have a lot of common interests. But as you kind of combine your lives and move forward in life together, then you start seeing a lot of those inefficiencies. Like, if you and your spouse or your significant other, if neither one of you are, good at cleaning up after yourselves, then what happens? You live in filth, right? Or
there are also people that love to live in filth.
Or if you're really bad with financial planning, then what happens? You find yourself broke. So while common interests are important to relationships, friendships, businesses, all that kind of stuff, balance is good also. Not just in business, in relationships. Okay.
That is the B in bot.
B in bot.
Any more to add?
No.
Okay, we're going to move on. So the partnership bot. This is the how to cultivate a strong partnership. Partnership. This could be in business. This could be in life. This could be whatever. We are going to apply it to a lot of business stuff today. So the partnership bot is where we're discussing. The first B would be balance. Balance is important in business. Not always want to have the same skill. The second one, openness.
Openness. That is being honest. To feel comfortable with being able to tell the other person or persons how you feel, what you think. Sometimes that might come across as being rude or abrupt or hurt some feelings maybe, but it's important that
I feel like this works. I feel like this works into to the third part as well with the T, the trust. But the point is that when we are being open, there has to be trust there. That when I do that, when I express some things that maybe I'm concerned about or whatever, I have to trust my partner, in this case, my business partner, that I won't be ridiculed or shamed or whatever. Because what happens the second you do that, then maybe they're not going to be as open the next time. Right. So it's important to be open, but it's also important to be accepting of openness.
Yes, because I trust your opinion. If you tell me I'm doing something bad or not doing it well or I could do it better or whatever, I trust your opinion. I trust you to, one, make decisions about things that I'm not good at, going back to balance, right? I'm good at this, you're good at that. I trust you to be good at the thing that you're good at. But if you're going to give me some feedback or criticism, then I trust that you're doing that in my best interest.
And do you know why?
Because you are.
Because we're in the same boat, man.
Yeah.
We both have the same. Because we've talked about it extensively, and that's really another layer to partnerships, is really discussing, like Tanner and I constantly talk about the future, and so we know. Whenever we're there, we know how we want to start handling it, not necessarily how we're going to handle it because we've never experienced it before or whatever. But we always talk about the future. And so, man, I'm trailing off.
No, you're not.
I don't even know where I was getting. Pick me up.
Well, I do have a question, though.
Yeah.
Should we throw in another element, another principle? This starts with an A, so we can have a partnership boat.
Boat?
Yeah. Right? Because you talked about being in the same boat, so maybe that's what this acronym needs is an A.
Yeah.
So balance, openness,
awesome.
Awesomeness.
Oh, wait. I picked up where I was going because you said boat. So we always talk about the future, so we always know where we're going to go, right? So whenever you come to me and you say, hey, man, I need you to pick up some slack here. I say that to you. You need to be better at this. I wish you were more involved in this. It's with the understanding when somebody is saying that to me in a partnership that we both know where we want to be. And so you're not saying that because I trust you. You're not saying that because you're shaming me. You're saying that because you have your eye on the prize.
Right.
And so I also have my eye on the prize, and maybe I'm just slipping a little bit. So we need to refocus. And you're telling me, hey, man, remember what we talked about. Remember where we want to be, where we're wanting to go.
Taking this boat analogy, I think that's important. A lot of times where you lose sight of maybe, what's ahead of you is whenever you're so concerned with this thing that you're doing right now, this task that you're immersed in. So we're rowing a boat, right? Maybe you're just like looking down at the water, you're rowing your oar and stuff, and that's what you're focusing on. And you're doing it, so hard and fast that we're kind of veering off this way. And I'm like, hey, man, look up. Look where we're going.
Yeah.
Slow down a little bit.
I like it.
All right, well, we'll try to work an A into this partnership.
What would be an A? There's some people watching on Facebook Live.
We'll take recommendations. We're open.
We're open. Yes, we are.
And we trust you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so taking those things, the partnership as it is now, partnership bot of balance, openness, trust.
Soon to be boat.
Those principles, we're going to apply them to a kind of a set of questions here.
Did we already talk about trust?
Yeah, we talked about
we
trust.
Did? T for trust?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You ready to quick fire these questions?
Yeah, man.
All right. Question 1.
Oh, am I asking or are you asking?
No, I'll ask you. Okay, question 1. How could having a business partner make your company better? And really, I would say how could, would, or does.
How does, because it's current.
Right.
How does having a business partner make my company better? We really just covered a lot of that. We balance each other out. I think the one element maybe that that we could work on is
Oh crap! Here it comes.
is openness. Though I feel like we're still new. We're newlyweds.
Okay.
So that's kind of the maybe the weird part. Is are we comfortable enough in everything to just be open? But it's not like there's a lot of, I guess, any issues, lingering issues, right? It's just, again, kind of that honeymoon phase. But I mean, how does having a business partner make Unknown.Studio better? The balance. I
would
absolutely,
say,
the balance is so.
And I'm going to extend that.
Good.
I'm going to extend that a little bit further, and I would say that we lean on each other quite a bit. So yes. So
and that's kind of the trust part of it.
Which has to do with balance and trust. We lean on each other quite a bit. There's things that I'm really good at, and there's things that Tanner is not. And we were in a like what would you call that, business development meeting, and man, I was getting exhausted. And Tanner knows I when it comes to meetings and things, I'm really, it's hard for me to stay focused. But I feel like that's where you get your energy, man. It's crazy.
Me?
Yeah. It's
Just
really
hearing myself talk
freaks me out. Yeah, he likes being the teacher. And here's the thing too: is at Unknown.Studio, I am currently the designer at Unknown.Studio. So, but that doesn't mean that I don't lean on Tanner for help. Things like when I get stuck on a particular project, I don't know where to go. He's like right there to say, let's look at this. Let's try this. Why did you do that? And really kind of challenges me and pushes me forward. And so I lean on him a lot for that stuff. I lean on him very heavily for even I don't want to say selling the work, but
explaining,
like justifying. Yeah. So he's just like, okay, tell me about it, and I'll sit there and talk, and he can then put it into a digestible.
Into context.
Format, yeah, and in context.
Like I'm doing right now.
Exactly.
Just finish your sentences for you, man.
Right.
Also known as interrupting.
Yeah.
No, that's true, and I think that I can also tell whenever, going back to a business development meeting, whenever I've kind of gotten a little long in the tooth, and I'm looking at Aaron, and I'm like, okay.
You do have long teeth.
This is... It's time to slow it down, call it quits, and wrap it up.
I would say that
that's trust.
Those types of meetings, man, you got me for about maybe an hour.
Yeah.
And I start melting. So
you kind of, well, and I will, you're talking about me being a resource or a help or whatever as far as design goes.
Yes.
Because you're the designer. I have visions and stuff like that. I don't see in actual.
Should see a doctor about that.
I don't see these ideas and concepts in actual aesthetic. How they are visually. But anyways, so whenever I'm trying to figure out whether a concept makes sense. Or if I'm delivering information or a message the right way, you being not the writer, you're a really good resource that I lean on.
I've written a good headline or two in my day.
Absolutely have.
A couple taglines.
Yep.
Right?
Misspelled maybe one or two.
Oh my gosh, yes. One or two? I'm terrible.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't go to word school.
Right.
So can maybe we should put this in context for those that maybe aren't in the creative industry, the ad industry. So what do you think?
I think, okay, so how does having a business partner make your company better, your team better, your family better, your family
not
better?
Bitter.
Is you don't have to do everything by yourself. That's what it comes down to, right? You just don't have to do it all.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you.
Okay.
What if you are doing it by yourself?
Then that's where you find resources outside of what you're doing that you can lean on, and they become partners. They're not internal business partners, but it's still...
Well, okay. Let me rephrase. What if you have a partner and you are doing it by yourself?
And he or she is not doing anything?
Yes.
Openness.
Okay, what if they're doing a little bit, but you feel like they can do more?
Openness.
Yeah.
And if they're not, if they aren't accepting of that, then it's not a strong. You're not cultivating a strong partnership.
And so I want to be careful with my words here, because I said they need to do more. That's not necessarily true, or the right words to use, because there's a lot of times when Tanner may be working late and I am not. Tanner may be working weekend and I am not. And so that doesn't mean that he's necessarily doing more. He is just doing things that are different than the things that I do. And we also work at different speeds,
And doing it at a different time.
And there's timing, the timing issue with that too. So there are some things that I may be waiting on you to do, and there's some things that you may be waiting on me to do before you can, do your thing. And so it's also really hard to compare my partner isn't doing as much as me, when in fact it's unfair to say that, because they don't do what you do. And if you remember, going back to the beginning, if they do exactly what you do, why are you partners?
Right. Why are you doing it together?
Right. Yeah. So, and if you come together and you do the same stuff, right? There, I think that you can always grow, and you can say, I'm going to take this on. Cool. I'm going to take this on. So yes, you could still be doing the core of what you do is the same stuff, but maybe I'm going to handle bookkeeping while you handle payroll. You know what I mean? So there's some balance there.
Yeah.
And trust and openness, or balance, openness, trust, soon to be both.
Okay.
So we really kind of worked into that, our second part, which is how does your business partner's skill complement your skill? And so there's been a lot of that kind of talk.
In our particular industry, I mean, you can't have a good, successful design, right? Visual presentation without a strong concept, without a strong strategy, right?
I think that's true for the most part, but I would also say that there's a lot of really successful designers out there that's just kind of what they do. And I think that the more important point to make is that there are certain types of clients. Some high billing clients are the ones that need to have an explanation, a more kind of presentation to it. And you can find on the internets, what is the difference between a $500 logo and a $15,000-$30,000 logo, whatever. Not a $15,000-$30,000, but $15,000 and a $30,000. Like, what is the difference between, what makes it that big of a jump? If all things are equal, a logo looks like a logo and it's successful. The difference is the presentations, or the presentation of it.
Right.
So the research behind it, the explaining of it, the justifications behind some things, how in depth is it?
Right.
Right.
So how does your business partner's skill set complement yours? There are those two components that I'm not saying that I do one, that I do the explaining and the rationalizing and the strategy, and you do just, pushing pixels. I'm not saying that. But we work those two things together well. Again, going back to the boat, right? You're rowing, you're designing, your head's down, you're figuring out looks and aesthetics and, this visual system. And I have, not doing that, I'm able to have my, sight set, out ahead to be able to say, hey, look up.
That's an important point. Yeah. Because if you're both, knee deep or neck deep, we'll say neck deep because it's like really super focused. If you're both down in the water, the weeds like that, we'll say water because we're talking about boats.
Yeah.
I feel like that's maybe not necessarily a good thing all the time. That you do need somebody that's, you could say it's kind of project manager-esque, right? You can maybe draw some parallels there. So there you go.
And then the obvious, I'm words, you're visuals.
Not words.
Yeah, so they complement each
I
other.
work with words.
You do. You work.
I just don't write them. Sometimes I write them.
Okay, so how does your business partner make you better? Your skill sets complement each other. But how do we make each other better?
Because we push the envelope a little bit. So it's easy when you're by yourself to become maybe complacent and comfortable and set in your ways. This is how I do things. I know that I can accomplish this because it's how I've always accomplished this. And so, so whenever you fall into that trap, there's no progress. So we make each other better because we can kind of hit each other on the side of the head and say, "Hey, man, let's go."
Make each
We're
other.
going.
We make each other better because we make each other uncomfortable.
And
Challenge each other.
now, and that's that, and I would say that's an important point too, because it's also easy in a partnership, even being in a partnership, to fall into that same trap. So it's just, you need to be always on your toes, because you will very quickly get left in the dust if one of you isn't that, "Hey man, come on, we're going, let's do this."
Yeah, I think that it's always important to have somebody that you're considering their best interest as well as yours, because what's good, what I can accept may not be acceptable to you. Same thing with a relationship, family, you always want to make that other person proud, I guess. Yeah, you want that person to look at you and go, "You know what? Good job." Positive reinforcement, or "I appreciate that," or there's just always somebody else there that you need to consider. And
also business is not easier because you have a partner either. Now, certain things within it can make it can be easier, and you lean on each other a lot, but that doesn't mean it makes it any easier to run.
Okay,
I trailed off. I'm sorry.
It's all right,
I do it, man. This is what I'm talking about. That's why I'm not good in meetings.
So which one of us is the visionary? Which one of us is the I'm going to throw out a couple different terms here. So which one of us is the visionary? Which one is the integrator? Or which one is the person who makes the stuff, is the producer or the technician? Which one of us is the ideas?
I'm both.
Right.
You don't do crap, man. Let's get down. What do you say, brass tacks?
Brass taxes. I think we're both visionaries. I think we both have big ideas and concepts, goals and objectives that we set. And then it's kind of, it's a little bit, when you say the integrator or the producer, it's a little bit different, because I like to, okay, so the integrator is I'm tripping over my words here. Visionaries have groundbreaking ideas. Integrators make those ideas a reality. Okay, so we're both visionaries, right?
Yeah,
we're both conceptual guys.
And I would say, yeah, conceptual guys. And I'm a visionary in bursts. Right? Would you agree to that?
Yeah. No. I mean, no.
Okay.
I don't think that it's contained to these small, these small.
Maybe I just express my visions.
Moments of vision. I think it's an ongoing thing.
Okay. Well.
But I think that you are definitely.
I'm a liar.
I think that you are definitely a producer, though. You're a designer, right? You're a creator.
Yes.
So ideas, make it happen. And like you said, you're the usually get it done now, get it done fast. Here's the idea, I'm going to go make it, right?
Yep.
Here's the idea, let me plan that out a little bit. Let me, step by step systematize this, okay?
And sometimes that drives me crazy.
But the systematization, the processes make the ideas a reality also. They boil it down into a practical.
I'm a big believer in systems.
Yeah.
In the world of design, in the world of art direction, in the world of product, or not product designers, but production designers. I'm a really big believer in that, where you develop this system and you say, these are the colors we're going to use, these are the fonts we're going to use, this is the blah 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 we're going to use, and you can easily hand that to somebody and they can follow that system and get pretty close to the same result that you can achieve. So and I love systemizing our work because it makes it so much more efficient.
Yeah. So we're both visionaries and integrators.
Okay.
So we work well together.
So I'm going to throw a curveball in here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're at the bottom of our list.
I can never hit the curveball, man.
I know you can't. So we're 30 minutes in. I'm going to throw you a curveball. I'm going to talk about compromise, or we should talk about compromise. And what is it? How do we deal with disagreements, internal disagreements between us in our day-to-day or business planning or whatever?
And the answer to that is you just ask yourself, do you actually give a crap about what you're arguing about? Or how much do you give a crap about what you're arguing with? Ask yourself, how many F's do I give?
How many do you give?
About what?
So when I say that, and when you say that, I may give 7.
And if I give 2 F's, yeah. You give more F's about it.
And ultimately,
we'll go with your.
We're rowing in the same boat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Who's going to that boat? We're going to change this bot to boat. Yeah. And so we're going in the same direction. And the ultimate goal is we both want it because we talk about it all the time. Mm-hmm. And so more than one way to skin a cat. Correct?
Yeah.
So
skinning cats is weird though.
It is terrible. There's
who skinned the cat in the first place?
Is there a different
animal?
And who is the one that figured out that there's more than one way to skin a cat?
It's like a group of people going, "Hey, let's figure out how we can skin this cat." I don't know. That's a bad visual. So yeah, there's more than one way to do any one thing. Okay, doesn't mean that one way is wrong and one way is right. It just means they're different. So their compromise, needs to happen there. If it's, we're going in the same direction and you really, really feel convicted to do it this particular way, and I don't really feel convicted about doing it my particular way, let's do it your way, right?
Yeah.
So ask yourself, how many F's do I give? And then match it with that level of argument.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Mm-hmm. Should we end there?
Anything else?
I got nothing, man.
Got nothing? Okay. Thank you for listening. Be sure to follow us everywhere, all over the internets, at Unknown.Studio, and we chose that because at Unknown.Studio was taken, obviously. And as always...
I think it's better than Unknown.Studio, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. So, thank you. From the bearded Tanner Tate sitting across from me.
And the unbearded.
The unbearded.
Or less bearded.
Aaron Dickey, thank you very much for listening. See you next time.
Bye-bye.